Hello, this is War, and this segment will entail smiting. Smiting is a real occurrence that actually happened. Smiting, just like in the game, like in the League of Legends, when you smite someone, that is actually a real thing in real life. Personally, I've been smite multiple times throughout my life to a point where I have immunity to smiting. To a point to a point like where I enjoy the pain and suffering that I go through in life. Smiting. The first time I was smite, let me just give you an instant of why I believe in smiting, and let me give you some of the details that will that will back up my personal claims on what is smiting. I was born a sensitive child. I'm an empath. I feel. In my younger days, I could feel to a point where I could project. I'm a social engineer as well, so I project a lot of conversations. So uh, uh, when I was in the military, that's when I started realizing that I really do have abilities, and the people around me have weird abilities. I could read your heart, I could see your heart, but because I'm still at my early stages, I can't exactly identify things, and I can't read your mind, and I can't take information out of your mind. But the police, they can. For example, when I was in the military, I did it in the front of my NCOs and I think my commander. And I don't know if she was there, but I think because I did it in the orderly room, and there was a girl, and I started interrogating her, and I started sensing stuff, and I knew that. After that, there was another incident where it's outside my house. My cousin Alex Frazier, he came to the house because people was chasing him. I didn't understand what he was talking to me about, but we smoked a blunt, and I was like, dude, whatever is happening, and I don't know. And a lot of those kids and my uncles were talking about them chasing those kids in their spiritual form, because those kids are already participating in homosexuality, and if you participate in homosexuality, you immediately going to be aware of the spiritual forms. After he left the house, I went outside, and I'm a trained soldier. I love being a soldier. You know what I mean? And I trained myself, and I still live the military lifestyle. And an officer called me, and pow, you know what I mean? I'm high speed, so pow, I showed up right in front of him. I'm like, what? And he's like, no, 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 back away, and he started reading my heart. And that was a tall, red, white male, and he started reading my heart, and he said he let him escape. He was talking about my cousin Alex Frazier, and then from nowhere, out of the white male, special groom appeared, and she said, "You don't know what these people did to you. You don't even know what they did to you. When you find out what they did to you, you will know. You will be angry too. We are going to get them. We have a trap on top of the their trap. They are not going to escape us this time. Da 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 da." I mean, and then they left. That cop was reading my heart and my memories without me knowing. There was an incident with Imelda Angelo. She was in her weight form, and in that community, I was in Kennedy Park, where a lot of weird stuff happened. I was watching all of the spiritual shit. I'm born. Every genius is born with a serial killer like a mentality. I'm born with a serial killer mentality. That's why I behave like a predatory, and that's why I'm always aggressive, and that's the reason why uh, I'm also an empath because I'm born that way. And like people like me that are born that way, especially if you're black and you're among the 2%, you're you are you're definitely a loose cannon. You're the one that you are the abnormality. You're the weird one. You know what I mean? So she like she like, came down from from somewhere, and she was like these people always talk up. They're always talking up in the sky. Even my own mother and other people I've seen them, they talk to the sky. There's somebody they talking to, and I was watching them, and she she was walking up, and there was a girl that she had an altercation with, and she smite her, and she started crying, and she ran away. Imelda smiting me, da da da, and she started crying, and she came through, and her husband, her boyfriend, like Geoffrey Wani, showed up, and they had a conversation, and then she was like, I was just trying out or something, I don't know. And then she asked them all as a group to gather up and to smite me, as a collective. They used to be my friends, but I don't consider them my fucking friends. I don't consider them my fucking family or my community or my kind or anything. I fucking hate them. And then Joffrey and then Joffrey was like, he has the ability to deflect smiting. Don't do it. He's too powerful. And that was my incident in the community on learning what is smiting. The first incident I actually have with somebody connecting to my heart. I was walking out of the gym, and there was a white guy. He was definitely gay. He was homosexual, and he was crying, and he was with another guy, and I was with somebody else too. But then the gay guy, he wanted to connect to my heart, or he was connected to my heart, and then I sense it. You know what I mean? And a lot of gay people do that. They could get into your heart, and they act as if you're falling for them. And personally, I don't I never I don't fall in love with any man. I don't fall in love at all. I will never fall in love with any man. So, and I will never have any kind of sexual, tendency or need or desire to be with any man. So as soon as he connected to to my heart, I got angry. I'm a very aggressive person. I'm a very aggressive person. I'm very aggressive. I got very aggressive, and I reached into my heart, and I just severed the connection, and I told him straight up in his face. I'm like, dude, I will never love a man in my life. I will never be intimate with any man. I don't even fucking know you. How the fuck are you connected to my heart? You know what I mean? I will never feel this kind of like you're feeling toward anyone in existence, especially a man. You know, what I mean? Not even my own fucking father. I would never love him or feel like this toward him. Who the fuck are you? So I got so fucking aggressive. So from that point on, I started putting a lot of pain and suffering in my heart. I work out a lot. You know what I mean? I'm a hunter. You know what I mean? Um, I love to chase. You know what I mean? I'm a warrior. I like the thrill of the hunt. I enjoy that. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter about the pain and suffering. It's the thrill. You know what I mean? I live for the thrill. So I started building a lot of pain and suffering in my heart. So if anyone connected to my heart, immediately they would sense a lot of fucking pain and suffering, and they would back the fuck away. So that's my first incident with a male that wants to connect to my heart. I had other incidents where other males, they are sexually attracted to me, but I'm not with them. But then, because a lot of gay people, they could get into your heart. As soon as I feel that, I just get angry. There was another incident. I got it right this time. I was in like in Philadelphia. I was at a shelter. It was a missionary home. And at that time, I was on a road trip, and my car got towed because I started hallucinating. I don't hallucinate. I've been seeing a lot of stuff, since I was a child. I was told that if I was born in America, I would have never made it this far, because in America, a lot of people that are born like me, like I'm born with a serial killer like your mentality. Every genius have that ability. We are born this way, and Albert Einstein, Nikola Tesla, all of them are born the same way that I'm born. And the 2%, I belong to the 2%, and like a majority of them are like white people. The majority of them are like European and all this kind of stuff. So I belong to a selective few, people, like on the planet. But eventually, a lot of people, they evolve to become like us, like me. So when I was at the church, the guy was talking about God and all this kind of stuff. So I questioned him. I questioned his belief, his God, and he was talking about no one can measure up to his God. And I told him I can, and I raised my hand. I said I can, and there was a black American right behind me. And as I was sitting down, he was literally he was preparing to smite me. And as soon as he smite me, my spiritual form showed up. I kind of looked like a white guy, and my spiritual form showed up, and everybody's like in the church, like they were all shocked. They all changed for like a moment, and like as I changed, they all changed, and then they all changed back. So they start acting all weird. So if you're being smite, it means that you're being forced to ordain. You are being forced into a system, or you are being ordained into a system. And the system that we are living in right here, right now, is a homosexual system. The government and the world government is aware of it. Even the Pope knows that. Everybody that is a part of the system is a part of the homosexual system that we all live in. So you are being forced into, and those who refuse to ordain into this lifestyle, or to the lifestyle that they trying to push you into, you are going to be smite. And when you are being smite, you feel a heavy thing in your heart, like a heavy weight in your heart. You will feel that, and it will follow with a lot of pain and suffering, like like your heart is like your heart is breaking, like somebody's literally breaking your heart. Like you feel a lot of pain, and like you feel like you are dying for real. And 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 also depend on the amount of people that are like smiting you at once. You feel a lot of pain and suffering, like a lot of it's like a shock. It's like a thunder, like tup, tup. But I have the ability to just deflect it. And I remember when I was in my car, I was sleeping. I was in Maine. I was being smite. I didn't know that I was being smite. And I felt that, and I realized that just if somebody strong is like smiting me, but he's not identifying himself. And a lot of people that are going to smite you, they're going to be people that are next to you. They're going to act as if they're your friends. they're your family. I'm a lone wolf, so I don't get close to the people. I don't fall in love. You know what I mean? If I like a girl, there's a reason. You know what I mean? There's a purpose. You know what I mean? I see a future. I see that she has the mind, the body to to like give me a good child. You know what I mean? A strong son. You know what I mean? Like I don't talk to a girl just to talk to a girl unless she's somebody that's close to me. But I don't do that anymore. So if I see a girl, I like analyze. So if if you're being smite, somebody close to you is actually doing it, and a lot of them because your own parents, your own family, your own uncles, and those who are close to you are a part of the system. They are obligated to smite you and to force you into the system. And I grew up in a homosexual family and in a homosexual community. I'm the straight one in that community. So the people that I was close to in the whole community, they were smiting me, and they're the one who was putting me through a lot of weird stuff, and they're the one who was always disappearing and like appearing and like coming down from the sky and all this kind of weird stuff. There was a guy named Okinj. I was there at Kennedy Park, right next to Sebit House, right next to the field. I'm making this video for the people that are in the main, the people that are in Maine, so they know exactly what I'm talking about. Right next to Sebit House, right next to the field, I was right there, and Joffrey and Sylvia was right there, Mo and Mike was right there. O'Kane came from the sky and appeared him down down on like on the ground right in front of me, and then he was like, "Oh, did he just see me?" And then Joffrey was like, "Yep, he just seen you. He can see too." And then that's how I know, all this weird stuff happening. But anyways, if you're being smite, that's how it's going to feel like a lot of pain and suffering in your mind, heart, and soul. So, to just say the least, I'm just trying to identify that uh, the military and the system that we are in, especially the American Army, their job is to force anybody who goes into the military into homosexuality. A lot of those kids they already went through selection, God duty or whatever the fuck that shit is. I'm the only one who's not a part of whatever the fuck they are doing. So yeah. So dude, I don't even know where the fuck I ended. There's a lot of information, but yeah, I have a friend. His name's Kamis. He's he like literally he came out of the closet right in front of me, and he admitted to the whole community that he is gay, and that whatever the military, the American army did to him, I am next because I'm also in the army. At that time, I was in the National Guard. So he said it. He said it like a point blank that he has to be gay for him to survive. So he was forced to a point where he accept being a woman. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, "What the fuck? I will never be gay. I will never do that." You know what I mean? And I looked at him, and he walked away. And Silvio and Jeffrey was right there, right there outside of the root cellar. So we just looked at each other like, "Yo, these old people are losing their fucking mind." So the American government is a part of this weird shit. So if you enlisted into the military, just remember you are going to be ordained. You are going to be forced into homosexuality before your sergeant rank. Once you hit specialist and you're about to become a sergeant, you will be forced into homosexuality because you have to get poked. Every man get poked. Everyone that went to everyone who has been arrested or have been in jail for a long period of time. They have been poked, or they have been set up to get raped in like inside the jail system. And that's a part of the American system. That's a part of the Egyptian system. That's a part of the European system. That's a part of the Sudanese system. That's a part of the world government to ordain men into homosexuality. And smiting is a part of that. But if you could see the like scoreboard, if you could see the spiritual forms, if you could see the like different like form of lights, if you could see all those stuff, that means either you have went through it naturally because biologically you will go through it to a point where you will ascend to become like me, or you have to go through homosexuality. Because if you're getting smite a lot, um, uh, you start hearing a lot of voices. You start seeing a lot of stuff, and by that time, your friends and family members have already abandoned you, and you have been disowned. Because at that time, as soon as I started hearing stuff, I started seeing stuff, the people around me it started to like abandon me. Like my eyes opened for like a moment, and the people around me were all dogs. My eyes open for one moment. Like I have a friend. His name's Loki. I'm not gonna say his real name, but his name's Loki, and everyone in Maine knows him, especially like in Portland, Maine, the Sudanese community. My eyes open. I did something stupid. I'm not gonna talk about it. And for a moment, I seen like numbers. I seen ones and zeros in my eyes, and then I felt a lot of cold air, and then nothing happened. So I went outside, and when I went outside, I was walking, and he was driving, and when he was driving, he looked like a dog. So and also before I seen him as a dog in Egypt in Hadijk Maadi, he was talking about that uh, he thought that he was my dog, but then he ended up becoming another white guy dog. So he's somebody else's dog. I don't have a dog. I'm the only one who came out without a tail and a dog. So yeah, if you're being smite, there's a lot of weird stuff that's going to happen. But before that, your own family would will disown you because they're a part of the system. So there's a little thing about smiting. So if you hear a lot of things about smiting, or you start you're noticing that there's a heavy heartbeat, like something like a thunder, like a heavy weight, hitting your heart, you are being smite. That's basically it. LOL. Anyways, I hope this was informative. And also there's other people that can also project things from the eyes. I remember that I went to like a psychiatric hospital, and then I got out of the hospital, and I left a couple people in that hospital that was in the hospital. But I went to a different hospital. Some of the people that was in the hospital, like you're with me, they were in a booth talking to themselves. Talking black man, yeah. They already told me that if you go into special forces, you will become a talking black man. And in the military, when they say special forces, they're literally telling you, if you go to the special forces briefing, if you go to the special forces briefing, that's the special forces. You have been taken to special forces. That's it. And from that moment, you will start seeing red people and all this kind of weird shit. I remember there was this guy from the special forces. He did something like on top of my head, and then he asked me, "Who's your father?" And I was like, "Whoa!" Instinctively, you know what I mean? And then they start getting happy. They was like, "We didn't know that we were going to war. We didn't know that." And then that's when the weird shit happened in my company. Everyone started talking about he is not just talented, he's also God. He is also Godchild and all this kind of weird shit. So there was a lot of weird stuff that was happening when I was in the army. So long story short, talking about smiting, if you are not sensing smiting, or you don't understand it, or you're in the military, just understand that uh, before you hit your NCO, before you become a sergeant, you will be poked and you will be put through homosexuality. They will set you up. I was set up. So yeah, that's basically it.